I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is my podcast from my head to your ears. And today in Southern Illinois, it's January 25th, and we have a snow day. Our schools are closed, and it just so happens I'm on vacation, so I don't have to get out. So this brings back memories of snow days when I was a child, and I loved those snow days. And I'm going to talk about some snow day memories for this segment of my podcast. So I'm going to take a break, and I will return with my memories of snow days. I'm back, and today in Southern Illinois, as I stated, we have a snow day, and it's bringing back so many memories of snow days as a child. As an adult, it's not so great to see snow. However, I'm on vacation, and I don't have to get out in it, and it makes it better. I can stay in and watch movies and eat chili today. It's kind of my day off for my project I have upcoming for my vacation. I'm going to take it easy today. But as I said, this just brings back so many memories of snow days when I was a child. There was nothing like school getting called off. It just was so much fun to just stay in and then go play out in the snow. I remember several times in the late 1970s where we had blizzards and school was called off for a week or so, maybe even 2 weeks. And it was just a blast. So snow is so much fun when you're a kid. I mean, there's so much to do out in it. And my mom worked at the grade school, so she had the day off as well, which worked out really well since she was home with us. I think in the late 70s, we had blizzards. And my favorite memory of that was we went to school and we had a weathercaster named Don McNeely on our local CBS affiliate, KFVS. And he was stating at time for school, he was stating that we would have flurries that day. And I don't know what happened weather-wise. I didn't understand weather back then, but we went to school and the snow started coming down, and it started getting heavier and heavier and heavier. And by 10 o'clock, 10:30, it was just covering the ground. We had probably already had 4 inches of snow. So then came the announcement that they were dismissing school immediately. And we were so excited, and we were all laughing, stating, Don didn't say it would, because that was his catchphrase. Don said it would. Well, Don messed up that year. He was a great weathercaster, legendary Southern Illinois broadcaster. I'm not diminishing, thank you, his contribution to weather in Southern Illinois. But things happened, and that year it was kind of a phenomenal snowstorm. It just kind of grew and grew and grew and developed over on the top of us. So I recall getting on the bus and them taking us home, and the bus went in the ditch, not extremely far from where I lived, so we all had to get off, and the teacher had to walk those of us that lived close by to our homes. And I was just so excited to run down the street and go in the house. And I think we were out of school that particular snowstorm for, as I said, I think it was 2 weeks. It was just a crazy, crazy time. I mean, snow was 2 feet maybe, and the wind was blowing. And we had another snowstorm. I think it came around Thanksgiving one year in the late 70s, and it took us all by surprise. And I believe we had thunder snow that year, which is a phenomenon that doesn't happen very often, where thunders and lightnings and it's snowing. So we had a little bit of an ice storm as well that year. On top of we had snow. So I remember the trees just being weighed to the ground. It was just crazy. And I remember another year at Christmas time, actually around New Year's, and someone had burned down the Christian church in our town, and it was so cold out, but the fire was half a mile away, and you could see the sky lit up, and it was so cold, and it was snowing, and by the time they had put the fire out from the water from the fire hoses and stuff, it had made kind of a winter wonderland. Everything was ice crystals. I'm back, and as I was saying, the blizzards of the 70s were amazing. The 1980s, the early 80s, we had some pretty rough winters early on in 80, 81, 82. Another funny memory was the winter of 81, 82. I was a freshman in high school, and it was extremely cold, and our local water supply lake, Wren Lake, had frozen solid, and we had no water, and they canceled school quite a bit because of that. And I remember waking up and intently listening to WFRX to hear the school closed, and they announced it kind of late. Well, my mom didn't hear it. And I told her, hey, they just canceled school. And she accused me of lying, which that wasn't something I did as a kid. I wouldn't do that. I don't know why she thought I did. So she made me get ready for school, and she took me to school, and there was nobody there. And I was laughing to myself. But she wasn't real happy. She was really angry. But I got a snow day, so I didn't care. I believe we missed quite a bit of school that week because of the lake, more or less, not necessarily snow, but it had snowed as well. I remember the white Christmas we had of the Christmas of 83 was tinged with sadness because we had a pet duck growing up named Chi-Chi, and we got him in the Easter of 1971. And we had him for several years, most of my childhood, actually. And he passed away on Christmas Day, 1983, froze to death, and it was snowing. And like I said, we had quite a bit of snow that year. That's also the year I got a Super 8 movie camera for Christmas, and I made an epic movie using stop motion animation with my Star Trek figures and the snow as a alien outpost. I had a blast doing that movie in the snow. It's my nephews really liked that movie. It was kind of silly, but I had a blast, and in my mind it was an epic motion picture. So that's a great memory, actually. I'd kind of forgotten that till just then. I think the last snow day I had, I know the last day, and I know the exact date was December 7th, 1984, my senior year in high school. And we had our senior theses due around that time. Actually, it snowed the day before. It was a Thursday, the 6th. The thesis was due on the 7th. So we had a lot of my classmates who were procrastinating, very happy about that because they had a whole weekend to get this done. I, for some reason, who was an infamous procrastinator, had mine done. But I do know why, because I did my senior thesis on Olivia Newton-John, and I breezed through that and wrote it and enjoyed doing the project. I wasn't stupid. And I got an A- on that, by the way. The only reason I got an A- was because of grammar imperfections, I would say. But that was my last snow day as a student at Christopher High School. The years later, for many years after that, as a matter of fact, that year, that was the only snow day we had. And it didn't snow again that whole year. So I believe we got to graduate a little early, because when you don't use your snow days, they let you out of school a little earlier. So the years following, it seemed like we dodged a bullet, and we didn't have any major snows for a few years after that. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to remember. I don't recall it snowing for the next 5 years or so. Not a huge amount of snow. I started at my job in 1990, and I don't recall having a big issue with snow then either. But finally, along the way, we had several snows. We had a few white Christmases, and nothing that sticks to memory other than one of the Christmases, and the date escapes me, when I lived at my house on Malky Street. It snowed at Christmas, and I remember falling in the snow trying to get gifts across town. And that was the year I decided maybe white Christmases aren't the best. Because as an adult, trying to get to work and, function in a snowstorm is just a nightmare. And it just kind of diminishes. But as I said, this year I'm on vacation. We did have a snow a couple of years ago. Seems like in January, because I had COVID and I was off, and I didn't have to worry about getting to work. But that wasn't very pleasant, having COVID and snowing. It just was pleasant not having to try to go to work. But there's still the child in me that gets excited when it's going to snow, even though I know it's going to be kind of a nightmare because of work. This snowstorm this year kind of formed quickly. Our local TV kind of was up and down on whether or not we would get it. But our local weather forecaster, Luke Sager, he's nailed it. He was saying he thought it would be a significant snow. So kudos to Luke, by the way, and a shout out. Excuse me. I'm a winter person. I was born December 21st. I was born on the first day of winter, and I do love winter. Actually, my favorite seasons are fall and spring, so I say. But I really have an affectionate attachment to wintertime. And I don't hate snow, but boy, as a child, they were magical. So I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to conclude this podcast. And finally, what I'd like to say is I was so lucky to have such a wonderful childhood with great parents who made my life safe and made it enjoyable to stay home. I think about a lot of children these days who don't get lunch because they don't go to school or don't have a happy home, and maybe they enjoy getting away. But I was very fortunate to have a wonderful home life and a safe home and a warm home and food to eat, and I'm thankful for that, and that's why I have so many warm memories of snow days. And I know snow can be dangerous, and it can be a pain in the rear, but I don't choose to remember those things. I'm aware of them, But as far as my memories go, I choose to remember the good things, and that's the way I always do anything. I try to be thankful, and I try to be happy. So that's just me, and that's how I'd like to end this, with on a good note. I am going to enjoy my day today. I'm taking it easy on my first vacation day, and I'm going to enjoy the snow with a cup of coffee and make breakfast and watch TV with my mom. As I've stated many times, I'm a caregiver for my mom. She has Alzheimer's, and she will be 91 in a few weeks. And it's a joy and an honor, in my opinion, to take care of my mother. That may be a podcast for later. But until next time, I'm Leonard Riggs, and thank you for listening to my podcast, and I hope you enjoy it. And I will be back with you whenever I feel like it. The inspiration for podcasts just come out of nowhere. This one came yesterday at work, and I was really eager to get home and do it, because sometimes I lose my idea or whatever. So a lot of times I just want to stop and do the podcast. I've actually done podcasts where I lost track of what I was doing and just ditched it. But this one was going to be fun, and I hope you enjoyed my memories, and I hope you enjoy your day and your week, and I will talk to you next time. From my head to your ears, have a great week.